There have been several animated films that may not be meant for children that have been around for the last half a century, ranging from Fritz the Cat to Sausage Party. And now we got ourselves a new one in the form of Fixed, now streaming on Netflix. But is this new feature from Sony Pictures Animation a real dog of an animated film? Or does this one need to be sent back to the pound? Find out in this spoiler free review right now. Bad Days, Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Dual, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a spoiler-free review of the 2025 adult animated comedy flick Fixed from Netflix, along with Sony Pictures Animation, directed by Jendy Tartakovsky, who co-wrote the script with John Vitti. The film features a big all-star cast of voices including Adam DeVine, Idris Elba, Kathryn Hahn, Fred Armisen, Beck, Bennett, and Bobby Moynihan. The film follows a dog who learns that he is going to be neutered. It is the first adult animated film from Sony Pictures Animation, as well as their first traditionally animated film. But it'd be the second overall adult animated film Sony would release, while counting the theatrical Sausage Party, but that was not done by Sony Pictures Animation, so I'm not really actually counting it. Well, we focus on the titular character, a Staffordshire Bull Terrier named Bull. Yes, who comes from Chicago and frequently humps anything that piques his interest to vent his perverse instincts. He is friends with Rocco, a boxer, Fetch, a dachshund, and Lucky, a Jack Russell Terrier, all of whom, except for Bull, have been neutered, which makes them a target of ridicule from the haughty, self-absorbed Borzoi show dog, Sterling. Bull also harbors a crush on his show dog neighbor, another Borzoi named Honey, but is hesitant to reveal his true feelings for her. One day, Bull's owners pamper him with treats and Kool-Aid flavored toilet water. Bull realizes that he is due to be neutered the preceding morning, as Luther, a Great Dane, had a similar pre-neutered experience. Bull bemoans his experience and soon decides to leave home in order to save himself from being sterilized, and soon reconsiders when he's accosted by a large cloud of alley cats, but is saved by his friends who came searching for him when he ran away from his home, and they're all chased out of the cat's territory. As Bull decides to return home and face his impending neutering, Rocco convinces him to have a wild night on the town to make sure his last night of being intact will be one to remember. Now that's all the story I'm going to give to you, but I would say this, you better be careful with this. So watch this film. It recently came to Netflix this week, so you can check it out. And I will just say, if and there's a stitch with the card I was showing at the beginning of the after showing my logo. I humbly do apologize. I tried my best to find not a completely not bad one, but I've seen some that have used this one, but please bear with me. But I'll be using a different kind of photo for this, right? Okay, enough said. Now, for my thoughts on this film, I'm gonna say this was kind of odd and what have you. Real twisted, real crazy, real grossed out, what have you, and all that jazz. The film's reviews have been mixed. It's barely hanging on by a thread on Rotten Tomatoes. It's somewhere between 60 to 62%, saying animation legend Jenny Tartakovsky cuts a little too loose with the film, an aggressively crude cartoon that might just scratch the itch for those who like their comedies frisky. Metacritic has a score of 51. Discussing the film gave the film a 3 out of 5 star rating. Ryan Tarkovsky has provided some of the highest highs in Western animation. Unfortunately, this is not one of them. The foul humor might work for some viewers on the cusp of adulthood, but it falls into a trap of adult animation where it mistakes adult for gross. Nonetheless, there's enough here to prove that Tarkovsky is still a master. Beautiful 2D animation that I pray he's given another chance to flex his muscles in. Not his best yet, I'm glad, says Brian Gard, the reviewer. He gave it a try. Variety was positive on this, saying that the film proves impressively grown up about how far Bull must go to atone for his behavior. Yes. Now, this film, this is one twisted film. This kind of, with its 2D animation, I think this is fine for Sony Pictures Animation. But however, it kind of makes me feel like I'm seeing one of Ralph Bakshi's earlier works, namely the Fritz the Cat film, or some of the stuff that was one of his later works, the part animated, part live action film, Heavy Traffic. Overall, I found the film to be alright and what have you. Not great completely, but it's okay, good, and what have you. The film's director was Jenny Tarkovsky, who most people would remember best for directing the first three installments of the Hotel Transylvania franchise. And of course, you also know him best for being the creator of Dexter's Laboratory and Samurai Jack. I will admit he does a good job with his direction and his story, which he co-wrote with screenplay with John V. and based on a story the two co-wrote with Steve Greenberg and Rich Lufrano, was fine, what have you. Tyler Bates and Joanne Higginbotham do the score, and I think it's fine. It does have a pretty good soundtrack, but I gotta say, its humor is just, yeah. If you saw another recent dog film from a couple of years back, which was Strays, then I'd say this is a film you may want to check out. If you like that film, you may like this one as well. However, I'm going to say Fixed is fine, what have you, but I just say it was okay good. I'm kind of mixed on it. Some of the crazy, gross out humor I kind of found a little, yeah. I didn't hate anything else that came in between. Not even some of the language or the adulterated stuff, adulterated. Adult themes and why. That would be a better thing to say. Sorry about that. Now, for our voice actor cast, we have Adam DeVine voicing Bull. I'll say he does a pretty good job. I remember him from the Pitch Perfect films, and I believe I think he was in Intern and Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. Yeah, it was pretty good. Idris Elba, who you may remember from numerous films and also from the Thor films, he voices Rocco. Yeah, he's pretty good. Voicing Honey is Kathryn Hahn, who I thought this name sounded familiar. Of course, we seen her in Anchorman, Step Brothers, We're the Millers, and Glass Onion, and more recently in Agatha All Along, which of course was the spin-off to WandaVision. Of course, she played Agatha, in which you already know that. Fred Armisen, who I know that name, he was also in Anchorman. He lent his voice to the Smurfs movie Sony did. Well, the two live action films, that is. He voices Fetch, a dachshund. I gotta say, he's pretty crazy and what have you. Beck Bennett voices Sterling. Of course, he was a former member of NBC Saturday Night Live. Bobby Moynihan voices Lucky, a Jack Russell Terrier. I gotta say, he's pretty good too. Anyway, and it also has a pretty good set of voice and what have you, including some I remember hearing on video games and cartoons like Darren Norris and Gray Delisle. So the voice acting cast is pretty decent and what have you. So overall, with everything said, Fix is an okay, good film in my book, but not really a great film by any means. I mean, I was really shocked by a lot of its gross out stuff and what have you. But some of its adult themed humor and stuff like that, and its animation direction by Jenny Tarkovsky and its soundtrack were probably the few good things I liked about. So overall, Fix is a fine film. It's on Netflix. Check it out. For my score, I'm gonna give Fixed 3 stars. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 6. So, what did you think of Fixed? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel, and you know the rest. And I'm happy to report that I've managed to regain some power. I am now only 10 subscribers away from 1,000. Thank you, everyone. You saved my channel's reputation. Keep it up. I'm sure I could probably make it before the month's over with, but we'll see. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves yet. Alright, now join me next time when I bring to you my spoiler-free review of Nobody 2, along with an out-of-theater reaction as well. So if you like this, check out my reviews for these other, well, films that are actually live action but have grossed out humor in some parts and in several parts. In the upper left hand corner is my review of the classic from the early 80s, Porky's. In the upper right hand corner is my recent review on National Lampoon's Van Wilder from 2000 and and yeah, 2002, I think. Sorry, I'm losing it. Or if you'd like another dog of a flick, check out my review of Strays, which is a spoiler-free review in the bottom left-hand corner. In the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.